When Aaron Pierre first met Teyana Taylor, he probably didn't know that one day she would become the very person who'd change his life forever. Not just because of who she was in the public eye, not because of her fame, her looks, or even her power, but because of how deeply and sincerely she cared for him when he least expected it, and, honestly, when he probably didn't even deserve it. But like most stories that begin with quiet admiration and grow into something powerful, theirs didn't end the way it should have. And now, months later, with the world watching, Aaron is finally speaking up, but it's too late. They weren't flashy at first. In fact, it was so low-key, people barely knew they were even together. Teyana had just come out of a storm. Her relationship with Iman Shumpert had ended, and though she never gave the world a full explanation, it was obvious she had been through a lot. So when Aaron quietly started appearing by her side, people were curious. There were no grand announcements, no red carpet reveals. It was just soft photos, brief smiles, and the kind of chemistry that didn't need to scream to be noticed. Teyana looked happy, peaceful even. For a woman who had been publicly heartbroken before, this version of her felt new. There was a calmness in the way she moved. Fans caught glimpses of Aaron showing up to her sets, helping her carry bags, standing in the background at her daughter's recital. He wasn't loud about it, but he was there. And for a while, that felt enough. But sometimes love doesn't fall apart loudly. It fades in moments we don't notice. A skipped call, a changed tone, a distant glance. And that's exactly how things began to shift between Teyana and Aaron. Slowly, quietly, painfully. People started whispering when Aaron missed one of Teyana's major events, an award show where she was being honored. She didn't say much, but fans noticed he wasn't there. And when she posted a quote later that night that read, "Sometimes the absence is louder than presence," the internet started reading between the lines. Still, Teyana stayed silent. She wasn't the kind to start fires online. She just quietly pulled back. It got worse when Aaron was seen at an after-party overseas with another woman. No kissing, no hand-holding, but just close enough to start rumors. When fans tagged Teyana, she didn't react. But she didn't need to. Her next post was a picture of her daughter with a caption, "My peace lives here." That was all it took. The truth started spilling out when one woman reached out directly to Teyana. She didn't go public. She didn't seek attention. She sent a private message saying she had been involved with Aaron for months and had no idea he was in a relationship. She attached proof, screenshots, voice notes, timestamps. It was real. It was raw. It was devastating. Teyana didn't post a rant. She didn't call him out. She didn't even confront him at first. She just sat with it. Let it sink in. She looked back at all the times she had defended him. The quiet loyalty. The sacrifices. The belief that maybe, just maybe, she had finally found someone different. When she did confront Aaron, he lied. Straight to her face. Told her it was a misunderstanding. That the woman was clout chasing, that it was all a setup, but the proof was too solid. The lies were too smooth, and the pain was too deep. That was the night Teyana ended it. She didn't post a breakup announcement. She didn't give anyone the satisfaction of drama. She just unfollowed him, deleted the pictures, and went quiet. But that silence? It spoke louder than any post ever could. And then she did what very few people are strong enough to do. She healed in front of the world without saying a word. No pity party. No revenge tour. Just silent growth. She started working more. She dropped a visual project that had everyone talking. One scene in particular showed a woman standing in flames without burning. Fans knew exactly what she was saying. She had been through fire and walked out untouched. Months passed and people moved on. Aaron stayed silent. He stopped posting. Lost brand deals. Stopped showing up to industry events. Teyana, on the other hand, was everywhere. Looking better. Smiling wider. Living louder. And then, out of nowhere, Aaron finally spoke. It wasn't on a big network. It wasn't in a major interview. It was on a small podcast, the kind that feels more like a conversation than a performance. At first, he talked about his career. The roles he missed. The ones he regretted. But then the host asked him the one question everyone had been avoiding. What happened between you and Teyana? Aaron paused, looked down, took a breath, and then, for the first time, said the words no one expected. I was wrong. He didn't try to spin it, didn't try to blame timing or distance or the pressures of fame. He just admitted it. I had someone real, someone solid, and I messed it up. I didn't realize what she meant until she stopped picking up the phone. He continued, said that she loved him harder than anyone ever had, that she trusted him when he didn't even trust himself, that she brought peace into his chaos and he returned it with confusion. Every time she asked me for honesty, I gave her excuses, he said. Every time she gave me grace, I tested it. And every time she made space for me in her world, I showed up half present. His voice cracked a little. Not dramatic, just real. I didn't cheat because I was looking for something better, he said. I cheated because I didn't believe I was enough for the love she gave me. And instead of leveling up, I dragged her down. The podcast clip went viral within hours. People were shocked, not just because of what he said, but because of how deeply he seemed to feel it. Some fans felt it was too late. Others said it was the accountability they never expected from him. But the most powerful moment came when Aaron said, watching her glow up without me, without even speaking my name, that's what broke me. Because I realized I wasn't the heartbreak. I was the lesson. Teyana didn't react publicly. She didn't shade him. She didn't like any tweets. She just posted a picture of her in a stunning white outfit, walking into a gala, with the caption, "Healed girls don't argue. They elevate." And the internet knew it was over. Still, people wondered if she'd reach out, if she'd call him, if maybe, just maybe, there was a chance for closure. But sources close to her said she never even acknowledged the podcast privately. She had already made peace, with or without his apology. A few weeks later, Aaron reportedly tried to reach out, sent texts, asked for a conversation, even sent flowers. Teyana didn't respond. She had already moved on. She was now rumored to be dating someone new. Not an actor, not a rapper, just a quiet, private man who respected her boundaries and protected her peace. They were spotted having dinner, holding hands, laughing like she hadn't laughed in years. Meanwhile, Aaron was seen less and less. No new projects, no red carpet appearances, just the occasional post about self-reflection and growth. One post read, "Some mistakes teach you what loss really feels like. I learned mine too late." And maybe that's the saddest part of it all, not that he lost her, but that he didn't even realize what he had until she no longer needed to be his. Teyana wasn't just a chapter in his life. She was the book he never finished reading, the one that held all the answers he pretended not to need. And now, with the world watching, he's finally admitted it, but she's no longer watching. Her silence isn't bitterness, it's growth. She's choosing to live, to love, to build without dragging her past behind her. And in that silence, Aaron is learning the loudest lesson of his life. Sometimes, the harshest heartbreak isn't about the breakup itself. It's the gut-wrenching realization that you were the one who broke it all. That your lies didn't just end a relationship, they shattered something pure, something real. That the person who once shed tears over you is now laughing without you, living her best life, while you're left with nothing but regrets. That, my friend, is the real heartbreak. The sting of knowing you lost the best thing you ever had because you couldn't keep your truth straight. Now, let's talk about Teyana. She's far from broken. She's not just surviving. She's blooming, glowing, rising like a phoenix from the ashes of betrayal. Every room she walks into, every project she drops, every smile she flashes, it's a statement louder than any words could be. She didn't just make it through, she won. She turned pain into power, betrayal into beauty, and silence into the loudest statement a woman can ever make. I'm good. I'm better. And I don't need you anymore. Aaron finally admitted he was wrong. Maybe this time he meant it. Maybe the regret is real. But apologies don't rewrite history. They don't bring back the trust he shattered or undo the damage he caused. The one person who believed in him, who gave him her all, She's gone, and she's not looking back. Teyana's greatest revenge? It wasn't a messy diss track or a scandalous tell-all. It wasn't a social media breakdown or a public feud. Nope. Her revenge was the ultimate glow-up, the kind that leaves you stunned and speechless. The kind that radiates peace, strength, and self-love so powerful it shuts down every lingering doubt. She came back on her own terms, shining brighter than ever, and without him. Maybe that's the lesson Aaron needed, the brutal, undeniable truth that when you play with a woman who's learned to heal herself, you don't just lose her. You lose every version of yourself she helped create. The support, the love, the future, all gone. And now, Teyana is writing a new chapter, one where she is the star. A story where she refuses to dim her light or settle for less than she deserves. A story where her love is fiercely protected, deeply respected, and finally, fully returned. She's not looking back anymore. She's striding forward, confident, unshakable. And Aaron? He's left watching from the sidelines, realizing far too late that the woman he once had is now a woman he'll never have again.